can I be honest with you for a second? It's this idea that you need to be some kind of genius with a supercomputer to get rich from investing. And for a long time, I really believed that, until I figured out the secret was just a simple two-step process that anyone can follow. Today I wanted to share how I actually grew my portfolio to the point that dividend income from it could replace my full-time job and allow me to quit. Just so you know, it has nothing to do with being some kind of trading wizard. When I first started investing, I had no idea what I was doing. I was convinced that to make any real money, I had to find that next big stock, or time the market perfectly, or use some complex trading strategy that went way over my head. I spent so much time reading these dry reports and staring at charts until my eyes glazed over. I felt like my brain was just overloaded with all the noise. And then every day online, there's some expert talking about the next can't-miss strategy. My YouTube homepage was full of them. And what did I get for all that effort? I made a couple small nervous trades, second-guessed everything, and my portfolio basically went nowhere. Or down. I'm looking at you, Remark Holdings. The stress was awful, for practically no return or a loss. I was stuck in that classic investing trap of thinking that the more complicated my strategy was, the more money I'd make. It wasn't until I decided to ignore all of that noise and just focus on two simple concepts that things really started to change for me. Alright, the first step is so simple it almost sounds silly, but I promise you, it's the most important part. It's really just about consistently adding money to your investment portfolio. Now, of course, this part of the strategy does require that you regularly find that money to deposit, which means living below your means and making conscious choices about your spending. I think this concept deserves its own video though. In fact, let's talk about that in Friday's video. Just remember, you can't get a return on money that you haven't invested, right? Think of it this way. A 10% gain on $1,000 is $100. Nice, but it's not going to go very far. But a 10% gain on $100,000, that's 10K. So the amount you're able to save and invest is real engine for growth. This approach is often called dollar cost averaging, or DCA. The idea is that you keep buying more of your chosen stocks or ETFs every time you get paid, no matter what the current price is. You end up buying more when prices are low and less when they're high, all without having to think about it or time the market. It takes the chaos out of it, and most importantly, it keeps you from accidentally investing all your money right before a big dip or crash. These constant deposits are what fuel your portfolio. And hey, if this is making sense so far, maybe do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I try to keep things straightforward like this. Okay, so if adding money is the foundation, this next part is really what speeds things up. My second step was to take the money my investments were already making and put it straight back to work. I'm talking about reinvesting every single dividend and distribution I received. If you're not familiar, a dividend is just a portion of a company's profits that they share with you for being a share. Instead of just pocketing that cash, you can set up what's called a dividend reinvestment plan, or DRIP. It automatically uses that dividend money to buy more shares of that same stock. This creates this really powerful compounding effect that some people call a dividend snowball. Each time you reinvest, you own a few more shares. That means that your next dividend payment is a little bit bigger, and that bigger payment buys you even more shares, and the cycle just repeats and grows. And it does it all on its own with no extra work from you. It's like a little wealth building system that just runs in the background. Eventually, I turned DRIP off and started choosing where to reinvest my funds. This let me grow specific funds that matched my strategy. When you put these two things together, the results are pretty amazing. The consistent deposits you're making build a solid foundation. Then, the automatic dividend reinvesting acts like an accelerator, helping that foundation compound and grow faster over time. But honestly, the best part is what it does for your peace of mind. When the market is dropping, most people start to panic instead. But when you're investing this way, a market dip actually becomes a good thing. Your regular deposits are just buying up investments at a discount, and your reinvested dividends are getting you more shares for your money. You stop being afraid of downturns and start seeing them more like a sale. It completely changes your perspective from being a short-term gambler to a long-term owner. It's the definition of a get-rich-slow approach, and it's been proven to work. It might seem boring, but it's effective, and it's how I actually built my portfolio. So what was the big secret to how I grew my portfolio? It wasn't some genius stock tip or a secret algorithm. It was just that simple two-step process. First, I focused on adding money to my account consistently, no matter what the market was doing. And second, I turned on automatic dividend reinvesting real growth didn't come from trying to be a genius. It came from discipline and boring old consistency. That two-step process was the whole strategy, and it's something anyone can start doing. Now I'd love to hear from you. What's the simplest investing lessons that have made you the most money? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be reading through them. Oh, and before I go, the weekly distribution numbers dropped this morning, so I'll put up on the screen what I'll be getting paid this week. It looks like it'll be over $1,000 Canadian, so that's perfect. It's about the same as last week. I love to see that consistency.